Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizard Guy YouTube video. I'd like to thank you all for joining me for this video, as well as thank you all for the continued support on my channel. All of your views, likes, comments, and subscriptions are much more appreciated than any of you could ever imagine. So let's get started on this video. I wanted to make another pseudo-motivational video, and so here it is. Today's video is obviously Rocket League gameplay. On top of that, we are going to talk a little bit more about self-love. I know the last video sort of covered this topic, but I feel as though I need to make a separate video about it. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is I have been dealing with some personal issues involving this topic over the course of my life. Now, my life isn't falling apart by any means, and I don't hate myself, but I still occasionally find myself struggling with self-love. I've even seen some close friends and loved ones struggling in recent years. And so that pushed me further to make this video. Self-love can be extremely difficult depending on a plethora of different things. For me personally, when I was in middle school, my self-love was hugely tied to how I physically looked. And at that time I was on the heavier side of things, so you can imagine I had a lackluster love for myself at the time. Now, like I said before, I didn't totally hate myself, but when I would look in the mirror I didn't like what I saw. And that really started to take a toll on me after a while. I would have a negative thought about myself, and then proceed to get more sad because I was thinking that way about myself. It was a vicious cycle, and it took a lot of time and distractions to get me out of it. When I was thinking back to this time, I have distinct memories of feeling alone in my thinking. I remember not telling anyone how I felt about myself because I thought they wouldn't understand. That had me interested in how I compared to other people, more specifically other Americans. So I did a little research. I found that in 2021, more than 1/3 or 36% of Americans say they always like themselves, and close to half, 47%, say they like themselves most of the time. Only 12% of Americans say they don't like themselves most of the time, and a very few 2% say they don't like themselves at all. Another interesting point made was Americans under 35 are 24% more likely than older Americans to say that they don't like themselves most or all of the time. I was expecting to be surprised by these numbers, but to me they seem to make sense. They also further justified my previous thoughts that people wouldn't understand, because simply, there is just a lesser amount of people who feel that way about themselves. It also made perfect sense learning that Americans under 35 are almost 25% more likely to say that they don't like themselves at all. With everything going on in the world, and I mean everything, from politics to social media, it can be very easy to create both a negative worldview as well as a negative view of yourself. I feel as though a ton of media sources nowadays are really trying to make America more partisan. I'm not old enough to know, but it seems as though our country is coming close to the most divided it's ever been. That's just the politics and news media side. If we were to move into the social media aspect, I'm sure all of you would already know why social media creates negativity. I know that I have personally fallen victim to feeling bad about myself because I saw someone on social media living it up, and I started thinking, man, what am I doing? Thankfully, I didn't have this happen too often, and I've been able to separate my happiness and validation from social media. But I know this isn't the case for a ton of people, and that's another reason why I'm making this video. I think what finally broke me out of this cycle of negativity was beginning to work on my self-love. Now, by no means does that mean I was immediately perfect at it. It took a long time. Even now, I'm still not perfect, and there are times when I'm down on myself. The first steps I took to loving myself was to give myself more grace, even if I didn't realize that's what I was doing. What that means is, whenever I would have a negative thought about myself, I wouldn't scold myself or make myself feel worse because of the thought. At some point, I realized that negative thoughts are just like positive thoughts, in that they both can just happen organically without you thinking about them. I used to be stuck in the mindset that if I even had one negative thought about myself, then I really didn't love myself. And I found that that is extremely toxic. Another thing that has helped me to break the cycle of negativity is telling people about my problems. I know it's been said probably a million times over the years, but seriously, tell people who care about you about your issues. I used to think I would be burdening people by talking about my issues, and so I'd end up stewing and growing on all these negative thoughts for hours. Even if I ended up feeling better for a little while, I still might go back to the root of the issue and continue to feel bad. Once I stopped thinking like this, my life got genuinely better. Once again, I am serious. I started talking about my issues with anxiety or stress or whatever negative feeling I had, and I immediately noticed a difference. Not only did I stop feeling as bad about the problem almost immediately, but I found that when you tell someone about your issues, you can usually figure out a solution. Both of these things in combination usually make me feel completely better, and I want that for other people as well. That being said, I want you guys to know that not only are you not alone in thinking negatively about yourself, but it's okay that you are thinking that way sometimes. At the end of the day, you are most likely thinking about something you want to better about yourself. Don't get so caught up in how bad you feel now. Take steps to actually fix what you want to fix. Another thing I wanted to say is that if you feel like you have no one who cares about you or who wants to listen, you always have me. If you guys are feeling bad about anything, you can put it down in the comments and I will do my best to give you a supportive message. I want you all to know that you matter and that you are amazing. You can all do anything you want to if you put your mind to it. Give yourself more credit for the things that you accomplish. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you all have a great day. See ya.